So, rowing. I've been rowing for 6 years. In the most basic sense, this means that I spent thousands of hours training with blood, sweat, and tears every day, trying my hardest every day, so that my carbon fiber spoon moves through the water marginally faster. Without water, without rowing, I would not be the person I am today, and I would be nowhere near as awesome as I am now. Rowing has taught me the value of teamwork, consistency, and most importantly, hard work. Unfortunately, as much as I wish it was, rowing is not shits and giggles. And thus, I have always been challenged every day, every practice, every hour, to try as hard as I possibly can. So hopefully we win. However, I would like to extend a massive thank you because I believe that I've gained infinitely more from practice than I have lost in what I ate that day, which I believe my stroke seat, Noah Farmer, would agree with. Full disclosure, I would like to say thank you to everyone here for tolerating me. I came here from a history of rowing for 1 year at ATRO, which proceeded with 4 years rowing at Atomic, and then later 1 year here. I was in shock that y'all were so welcoming of someone who showed up to shadow a practice, had the audacity to tell a coach, I think who was McDara, that they rode like garbage, and then later taking someone else's seat with my incredible form. Within a month, I had found myself an excellent new group of friends who has now maybe lifelong friends. My original goal in joining Tristar was to move myself out of a plateau by trying something new. Unfortunately, getting better at rowing requires work. And so, during winter season, I put in said work. Thank you, Tristar, for showing me that during this season, that through discipline and a little bit of what I thought may be genuine mania, anything is possible. I think my greatest claim to fame this year was Meterboard, which, for the uneducated, is a Google spreadsheet that shows every meter on the rowing machine and every mile walked during winter season, where 1 mile counted for 2,000 meters, which is not how those measurements work. But what do I know? For the 2.5 months of winter season, I'd make this big number on the internet my obsession to the point where I would have rather broken a leg than lose Meterboard. Near every day, I would go home from practice and row a simple hour in addition to whatever we did at practice. This was a pretty nice strategy until Owen Shoemake, being the yahoo that he is, decided that he wanted to win. Unfortunately for him, I had accumulated a 200,000 meter lead, and for him, it was too little, too late. However, I'd like to talk more about Owen. I'd like to thank him because out of all the other rowers during winter, he was the one that made me the fastest. Because I couldn't stand the fact that a sophomore who would make sure that I knew when he was beating me. Owen was probably half the reason I dropped 14 seconds for my 2K, and for the lack of a better word, an inspiration. Thus, for being the soon-to-be second fastest erger on the team, and the only athlete to not lose Meterboard to me by 6 digits, such as Dylan with his vermilion meters, I nominate Owen to a 100,000 meter row, and I provided you the shoes that I used to do so, which may be a little worse for wear, but I'm sure we'll buff out. Owen, these shoes are right here for you when you want them. Thank you. Finally, I'd like to give an honorable mention to Asher Park. In the first half of Meterboard, Asher, a freshman who is understandably much slower than me, also known as God's gift to rowing, he was adamant on beating me. Well, I did prevail eventually. I will admit that it gave a pretty good fight that I ultimately won when I realized Meterboard was more important than my well-being. In reward for this, I'd like to give this unisuit to you. This unisuit belonged to my friend and former teammate, Dawn Peters, the fastest person and one of the greatest friends I met rowing at Atomic. Dawn was an upperclassman who I saw as a larger-than-life figure due to his dedication and drive that I rarely see from anyone else. Asher, while not being a larger-than-life character, and in fact being quite short, shows a fiery tenacity and is already pretty fast for a freshman, something I was way too lazy to do at his age. Thank you so much, Asher, for being a friend, an excellent teammate, and overall having such a hard-working work ethic. I'll miss you too, man. Thank you. I would like to extend a thank you to all the coaches that have tried their hardest along the way to make me a better rower and sometimes a better person, even if sometimes your advice was in vain. I would like to thank the entire coaching staff, including Coach Luke, Coach Nick, Coach McDara, Coach Morgan, Coach Katie, Ryan, and all the others. I think I forgot to put the JV in there. I really wish I should have put them in there. I'm sorry. And for tolerating me and some of my inane comments. It's been an honor to be the team's de facto stroke seat. I'd like to thank Katie, especially for her coaching decisions that, while terrifying, and sometimes will keep me up at night, forced me to truly earn each seat and make sure to pull for every inch of water. I'd also like to express gratitude for giving me the opportunity to be the fastest swimmer at Haley Charles. Well, I'm pretty sure it was a rowing event and not a swimming event. I overhauled an excellent time and had great joy appreciating the camaraderie around me, which I believe is the greatest part of Tristar, and helps me pretend that even the most difficult exercises are somewhat bearable. I would like to thank Noah Farmer for his infectious, positive attitude and being quite literally the closest thing to a saint. I would like to thank Ethan Griggs for your work ethic, determination, and straightening your arms. I promise I will hopefully start following you in the boat, maybe. I would like to thank Mike Campbell for being an excellent friend on and off the water and always pushing me to do better. Never once for a second ever letting me think I was pulling hard enough. I would like to thank Gracie Brown for being a great friend to me throughout the years and possibly being one of the greatest coxswains I have ever met. I would not be here without you. Jaeger for being such a supportive friend and helping me stalk other teams in my race. Kaylin and Haley for being great conversationalists and occasionally having some great advice for me. Maybe I'll use it. Finally, I would like to thank my parents, my grandmother, and Emma Harrison, and Nolan for driving me all around God's green earth because I suck at driving. These are some of the many friends that I will never forget, and while for the sake of time I can't thank everyone without creating a filibuster, I can tell each and every one of you that regardless of whether or not I have spent hundreds of hours with you or hundreds of seconds, I believe I have been so incredibly blessed to be your teammate.